And then we're just going to do a normal flat press conference hockey board.
Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ που είστε σε αυτή τη συνέντευξη τύπου. Θα κάνουμε διερμηνία στις πρώτες 3 ερωτήσεις. Θα προηγηθούν οι Έλληνες συνάδελφοι. Οι υπόλοιπες 3, οποιασδήποτε άλλες ερωτήσεις, δεν θα διερμηνευτούν. Λίγο υπομονή, θα είναι μόνο στα αγγλικά.
So the first 10 minutes of this press conference is obviously live, so who would like the first question? Please wait for the microphones. Des, your hand up was first. Thank you.
Hi, Stephen. Sorry, just a very quick one. Has everyone come through the 10 days, the travel, everything? Everyone's okay? Any late niggles or strains or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was one of our main objectives. Certainly coming into the week, you know, the training camp that we had prior to here, it's always a concern when you, with the gap, that obviously 6-week gap, and some players that hadn't been playing, the temptation is to overdo it sometimes or do too much or get the balance right. So one of our clear objectives was to get everyone fit here tonight, and that's, so it's credit to all of the backroom team really that is the case, and we've everyone available, which we're pleased about.
Η αλήθεια είναι ότι έχει περάσει αρκετός καιρός, 10 μέρες για κάποιους παίκτες που δεν είναι στην αγωνιστική δράση. Υπήρχαν κάποια προβλήματα, πιστεύετε αυτό ήταν ένα εμπόδιο για εσάς? Ναι, αυτό ήταν άλλωστε και ένας από τους στόχους μας. Και να εξηγηθώ, εμείς έχουμε έρθει εδώ, είχαμε ένα διάστημα για να προπονηθούμε. Υπήρχε πράγματι αυτό το κενό, για το χρονικό κενό για τους παίκτες, και το σημαντικό για εμάς, όπως άλλωστε και ο στόχος, ήταν να βρούμε μια ισορροπία και να τους κάνουμε όλους να ταιριάξουν στην ομάδα.
Next question, please, hands up. Gavin Quinn, down here, please. Thank you.
Hi, Stephen. Gus Poyet was in just before you, and he said, in the context of a very difficult group, that this game is must-win for both sides. Would you agree?
Well, listen, from our point of view, you know, we're looking forward to the game. I think it's great that it's, you know, it's the first competitive game at the stadium. It's full house. That's, you want to be involved in games like that. I think we're looking for that, you know, historic away win. That's what we want. It's our objective to try and get that big away win. Greece have a very good home record and have been in good form over the last year, and we respect that. Nothing will be easy. We'll have to fight for everything, and it's only the second game in the group, so I don't think anything is decided so early. But we're certainly, you know, it's certainly going to be an important game for both teams.
And just lastly...
Stop.
Oh, sorry.
Ο coach της Ελλάδος είπε ότι είναι ένα παιχνίδι το οποίο θα πρέπει να κερδίσουν και οι δύο ομάδες. Ποια είναι η άποψή σας? Εγώ πρέπει να πω ότι αδειμονώ για αυτό το παιχνίδι. Θα γίνει σε ένα πολύ γεμάτο γήπεδο και όλοι οι παίκτες και η ομάδα ανυπομονεί να παίζει σε τέτοιο γήπεδο. Τώρα, ο στόχος μας είναι να πάρουμε την νίκη εκτός έδρας, που θα είναι ένα πολύ σημαντικό αποτέλεσμα για μας. Ξέρουμε ότι η Ελλάδα έχει ένα ρεκόρ στην έδρα της, είναι σε φόρμα, δεν θα είναι εύκολο το παιχνίδι και πρέπει να πολεμήσουμε για τα πάντα. Είναι όμως μόλις το δεύτερο παιχνίδι στον όμιλο, είναι πολύ νωρίς για να πούμε ότι είναι ένα must-win παιχνίδι, αλλά είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό.
And just lastly, Stephen, what gives you confidence that this team can get that, in your words, historic away win tomorrow?
Well, I think you can see the team getting better. We've seen that was evident in our previous game against France, and it was a strong performance in that game. So it's a different game, of course. And tomorrow, you know, it requires, you know, a different approach, and we're making sure that we're ready for tomorrow night.
Μια ενδεχόμενη νίκη θα δώσει αυτοπεποίθηση στην ομάδα. Κοιτάξτε, εγώ πιστεύω ότι η ομάδα βελτιώνεται παιχνίδι με το παιχνίδι, και αυτό το είδαμε στο παιχνίδι με τη Γαλλία, όπου είχαμε μια πολύ καλή απόδοση στο γήπεδο. Αύριο είναι ένα εντελώς διαφορετικό παιχνίδι. Ξέρουμε ότι στο αυριανό παιχνίδι πρέπει να έχουμε μια άλλη προσέγγιση και φυσικά να είμαστε έτοιμοι να μπούμε να παίξουμε.
We'll now proceed with just an English press conference. Thank you very much. Nathan Murphy, please.
Stephen, probably along similar lines, a lot of your best performances have come away from home, but you haven't had that historic away win. When you look back in those strong away performances, is there any common theme as to why you haven't actually been able to seal the deal?
You know, the past is the past. Like, you can't look back. Of course, we've analysed all those performances, and the most obvious one, obviously, that will always sort of live with us is that the game in Portugal, of course, which we lost late. But you know, as I said, we've learned a lot we've learned so much about the team over the last year, and you know, you can see the team improving. And this is a stern test. Greece are, you know, a really good team. They're at home. It'll be it'll be a brilliant atmosphere, I'm sure, and one that we want the players to rise to and put in a big performance.
John, it's obviously quite a while since you played a competitive game. How have you found the last 4 or 5 weeks and the couple of different training camps and making sure that you're sharp enough? Do you feel like you felt at the end of the regular season?
Yeah, listen, a lot of preparation has gone into obviously preparing for this game. We had a really good training camp, which was very important to get everyone back together after the season, you know, and just hone in on what we do here as a group. You know, the manager and the staff have been brilliant, and you know, we've had a really good training camp in Turkey, and you know, we're raring to go and looking forward to the game tomorrow night now.
Damien Spellman at the back, please.
Stephen, Evan Ferguson's had such a great season. It could have a very special end for him. Is that the challenge to him over the next couple of days?
The challenge for him for what?
He could have a really exciting end to his season.
All right. Yeah, listen, Evan's really emerged quicker than we could have anticipated, and he's done brilliant for Brighton in the Premier League. And you know, it's certainly we're delighted to have him. You know, he's trained really well this week, and he's such a young player that, you know, you can't. You know, you certainly wouldn't want to put too much on his shoulders, because we've got you know, 5 good forwards in the squad, but he has got terrific ability, and we'd love to see that emerge over the next week for sure.
And John, we had your clubmate George Baldock in earlier. Has there been much banter flying around?
I suppose since the draw was made, yeah, we've obviously talked about it a bit, but yeah, he's a close friend of mine. He's been a big addition to the Greece setup, and you know, I suppose not much more I can say than, you know, we're close friends, and obviously we're playing against each other tomorrow night, so you know, we'll put that to one side for 90 minutes.
Ed Leahy, please.
Stephen, how you doing? You touched on it earlier about the build up to the game. Is there a sense that it's just been too long to build up to a game like this? Is it something that needs to be looked at through club and, you know, and UEFA scenarios? And has it been difficult to manage things like just potentially player ennui, that sort of stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to. I think it's not a European problem, because, you know, obviously Matt Doherty was involved with Atletico Madrid in the squad. We trained on the Monday. He was playing he was in the squad on the Sunday for Atletico Madrid, and some of the Greek team play in Turkey. Then he finished last week as well. So it's not a European issue. Mainly the English Championship finishes early for the playoffs, and League One, and that's really the only issue. And ideally, we want more of our players in the Premier League, and we've got, like, John getting promoted, and Josh and Michael at Burnley going into the Premier League then, so that doesn't become a problem. If you have more players in the Premier League, it doesn't become an issue. So it's really just an issue because the English Championship finishes so early to accommodate the playoff.
And just from what you've seen in Turkey over the last 9 days, are you confident that everything you want from the team can be put into practice in these conditions, or are there certain things that you just have to leave out of your plan in terms of just intensity and levels that players can achieve in such difficult conditions?
Yeah, no, listen, we've made provisions for different scenarios, for sure. I think we're clear how we want to play in and out possession, and I think the players, you know, are very clear in that regard, and they've trained brilliantly. Obviously, it's different against, you know, Greece have also been in good form, and they've been in good home form. So you've got to really, you know, it's a game that's exciting. Really, I think it's an exciting game for both teams. and we just want to come out the right side of it.
Is there any further questions in the live section? We've just got room for one more question if we do. And if not, we're moving to the embargoed. So we're moving to the embargoed section. So everything from this point forward's embargoed to 11 p.m. tonight. And we'll start with Neil O'Riordan on the front row here, please. Thank you.
Stephen, you mentioned a full house there, but the word here seems to be that it might only be a third full. Yeah.
Third full?
Yeah.
Right.
Wrong person, sorry.
If that's the case...
Sorry, I was misinformed.
No, if that's the case, like how big a factor can that be if the Irish support is a considerable percentage of the crowd, and in terms of getting behind you? And
right. Yeah. Listen, the fact that the Irish supporters, they travel brilliantly, and obviously the fact that they've come here is in such numbers. Because of COVID, we weren't able to experience that. Obviously they couldn't really come to Portugal. Like Azerbaijan is a very difficult place to get to. There was only a small crowd there because of COVID as well. And so last year, of course, big crowd in Scotland. But it's terrific that they can come, that they're willing to give that commitment and come across to Athens and support the team. Very passionate. The Irish supporters very passionate about their country and there is a good affinity with this group of players, I feel. I think the players deserve it. They are also very passionate about their country, the players. But listen, we'll see. I wasn't aware of that. To be honest with you, I wasn't aware of that. There's only going to be, less than half full, as you say. So we'll have to see on the night.
And John, sorry, just to follow up on Georgia, he said it was like you had a magnet on your head for the way you attract balls at set pieces. You have two big away goals in Portugal and Scotland. What would it mean to get another tonight and for it to be a winning goal as opposed to what happened in those games after?
Oh, I think playing for your country is the pinnacle really, and having the feeling of scoring a goal for your country is probably the best feeling I've had. We're a very patriotic country. We love playing for Ireland. We're blessed to be in this position, and as a centre back, if we can get up and try and chip in goals, it helps the whole team. We work a lot in our set pieces, so on the night, if we get a chance to go up there, we want to try and be dominant and try and make it count.
John, the manager has spoken about wanting to get that historic away win, and I mean, is there anything you've learned from those near misses? Maybe Portugal and Scotland games have been mentioned. Games that could have swung both ways. That you can get over the line tomorrow night in this type of game.
Yeah, we assess every game. We try to learn from every game. We've a lot of belief in ourselves as a group. We do a lot of work off the pitch to get it right on the pitch, and we always focus on the next game. So we've prepared for this game, really well, and we're not looking past it. We know it's going to be a tough test. They're a good side, but we're going out there to try and give a performance that we're capable of and give 100%.
One more then, Paul Rowan, please. Paul Rowan. Just you can wait for the microphone, please.
Good evening. Just a quick one for Stephen first, if you don't mind. Ireland seems to be having a case of Ferguson Mania. Do you find that puts pressure on you as a manager to give him maybe more time on the pitch than you might possibly want to? Do you feel that you're being swept up a bit in that whole thing?
No, not at all. I think he's been, at the moment, in recent form, he's in the team on merit, and he's been our best performing centre forward, for sure, in recent times. So he's really emerged and has done. And to score a goal on his first start can only give him confidence, I feel, he's definitely in the team 100% on merit, and I don't feel any pressure. Delighted to have him in the team, and he's a huge addition to us.
And John, can I just ask you, as an experienced international, how you help guys like Evan coming in, still teenagers, in terms of How can you help them?
Oh well, as the experienced lads in the group, we try and welcome the young lads in. They come in with a lot of energy, eager to impress, and I think it's an easy group to come into and to settle into because of the environment. So yeah, we've got a young squad. We've had a lot of young players come in the last couple of years, and they're showing every camp how much they're improving and emerging as leaders. And I suppose that's our job, is to integrate everyone into the squad, especially the young players.
John Fallon.
Stephen, just on Callum O'Dowda, you spoke after the France game about how much of a loss he was for you in that match. He's back soon when he does play. What traits does he have that can improve the team, given I think it's probably his first competitive start in that position?
Yeah, I mean, good competition. Our left wing back James McLean has been such longevity, and still one probably up there in the fittest player in the squad, and got player of the year at his club this season. James McLean. Callum O'Dowda has also performed well in recent games. Obviously scored against Latvia, hit the post against Malta, coming on late, and had a good game against Norway overall. So he's come in. Obviously injuries interrupted his international career, and he has adapted to being a left wing back after traditionally been a winger at his club. So he's become a left wing back, and so what qualities he can bring is that he can bring the qualities of a winger in that position. So he's a natural dribbler and can then go inside or outside. So he can give you allied to his speed, he can give you different qualities.
Philip Quinn, please.
Stephen, against France, your game plan was executed almost to perfection in that you kept them at bay, falling behind a little bit unluckily, and then you came out and were more expansive. Gus Poyet says he expects a different Ireland approach tomorrow to the game that we saw against France. Is it your intention to get on the front foot, seize the high ground, and be more expansive, as opposed to that sort of containment policy, if you like, that we saw last in March?
Yeah, I think France are a penalty shootout away from being double World Cup champions, and obviously they're undoubtedly a world-class team, and a team that has a lot of world stars in it. It's not always a deliberate policy of containment. It's just one that you have to adapt when they get control of the game. And we did probably create a fairly equal amount of chances in the game, and we're disappointed to lose it. This is a different game entirely. Obviously, Greece have had a great run of form. They're a possession-based team as well. They get high percentages of possession in a lot of their games. They like to dominate possession. They're expansive. But we've shown the capacity to be like that as well in a lot of games, and that's one of our strengths as well. So I think it's an intriguing game, really, and I think it'll be. Is the approach different? Yes, it is, and so we'll have to wait and see how that goes on Friday.
And just a follow up, John. You go back a long time with Gus Poyet, Sunderland, I believe. He was manager at the time. Will a little goal tomorrow night be a little extra motivation, just to remind him perhaps he made a mistake back when he was there at Sunderland?
No, I think those things. I don't really think about those things. I'm just focused on the game. It's the next game. We're all honed in on that. We've done our preparation, and obviously it would be nice to chip in with a goal, but we're just focused on going out there, giving 100% and trying to get the result.
Final few questions now, Paula.
Stephen, you mentioned James McLean earlier on. He's nearing 100 caps, obviously, potentially could happen on Monday night. Does that come into your thinking at all in a game like tomorrow, whether he starts, whether he comes off the bench, or do you kind of put sentiment to one side and play the game?
No, it's one thing that you learn as a manager, is that there's very little sentiment. You can't allow sentiment to enter your decision-making process when you're selecting the team, and that doesn't come into it. But anything is possible. James, I think there's an inevitability that you get 100 caps, but when, so it's only a matter of when. And he's been an incredible servant to Ireland. And you see Modric playing at 37 last night. You wouldn't put that out of realms of James playing till he's that age, because he's just obsessed with his levels of fitness, and he could play for many years still, for several years still.
Thank you very much, guys. Training starts at 8 o'clock, which will be open for the first 15 minutes, and we'll see you there. Thank you.